After a week in beautiful Grand Cayman, we would like to thank John Mora of Kite Surf Cayman for his hospitality, local knowledge, and the gift of rideable winds for 7 straight days. The afternoon of the 7th day also provided fading light winds, which gave us a great opportunity, and when I say us, I mean Vadim of Green Hat, to demonstrate and explain the deep water self-rescue with a foil kite. Thanks, Vadim. All of us new foil flyers owe you for this one. This exercise is taking place in very light winds. Also assumed here is that Vadim cannot relaunch the kite, and all measures to do so have already been exhausted. Some of those measures are to get tension on the lines by swimming away from the lines, by trying to relaunch the kite, and by getting it on its trailing edge and pulling the center lines. But when the kite Hindenburgs and there's not a puff in the sky, or it's bow tied, fortune cookied, or in a bound side crow yoga pose, maybe it's time for the self-rescue. With the kite now on the water, Vadim uses a tether that he keeps pre-positioned in the Velcro of his front strap. With the tether already attached to the front foot strap, now attach it to your safety leash if you've already engaged your quick release. He leaves a little bit of room between himself and the board so that activities can be performed to collect the kite. So a tether with a length of 8 to 10 feet should suffice. An old 3-meter kite line extension can make a suitable tether. Occasionally you will have to pull the board out of the way of the lines and the bridle system, but you won't have to worry about losing your board and hydrofoil, and you'll have 2 free hands to perform the cumbersome task ahead. Some people like to perform the following steps while sitting on their board, but this is not that easy to accomplish. Start winding your lines as you're working your way towards the kite, maneuvering your board as needed while accomplishing this. Once you get to the nearest bridle, start anchoring the lines to your bar so that the lines cannot become undone. At this point, detach the bar completely from you. Swim around to the other side of the kite to avoid the bridles. Then work your way to the middle of the kite and open up the air outflow on your kite. On the Ozone, it's a zipper. On other brands, it is sometimes a Velcro enclosure. Now work your way to the more downwind tip of the kite and attempt to bring it to the upwind tip, end to end, with the bridle system on the inside, the same way that you would fold a foil kite up on land. Then fish out your bar, place it on top of both tips, and start to roll the 2 ends while attempting to squeeze the air out of the kite during this process. Rolling the kite up in the water is not an easy process. Use your lower extremity to squeeze from the bottom as you are rolling from the top as you get near the middle of the kite. A tip Vadim wanted to add at this stage is that once you have both tips together and before you start rolling, fold the top tip a couple of feet first, as the top of the kite will be on the inside. It's going to roll more slowly than the bottom, and when you get to the middle, the air vent will be under the water if you don't do this, resulting in it being more difficult to expel the air. Vadim stated that he forgot to do this in this video and he suffered for it. Another tip is that he usually wears a large water shirt over his PFD. During the water rescue, he uses the shirt as a container for the kite to secure it before working his way back to land. Other people will store a mesh bag in their PFD pouches or have some other kite container ideas. Feed one end of the kite through the large opening of the shirt until the entire kite is contained within the shirt. Here he even uses his feet to push the kite completely into the shirt if needed, and then ties off the opening. He then uses the sleeves to secure the bulk of the kite in the middle. Even after it is secured within the shirt, he can still expel some additional air out of the kite if needed. Now that the kite and bar are fully secure, the next step is to get back to land. Place the kite on the board and stay close to the board as you swim back to land, assuring that the kite maintains a safe position on the board. There is no perfect method for bringing the waterlogged foil kite home. Many variables can arise, but this is a method Vadim has used dozens of times and it has worked well for him. Thanks again to Vadim for bringing this instructional on the deep water self-rescue with a foil kite. Reach out to his company Green Hat Kiteboarding for all your kiteboarding gear needs. Subscribe, comment, and like. Keep those foils dry, but if not, now you have a plan. And we'll see you next time on the OK Kiteboarder.